You talking that action, just be that action, the nigga you know.
Memphis to the Little Rock connection. We got my brothers on here. One of my brother from Benton and Little Rock, Arkansas. I got another brother on here from Little Rock, Arkansas, and I got another brother on here from Memphis, Tennessee. We're gonna start with you, brother. Introduce yourself and tell a little bit about yourself.
Oh, my name is Antonio. Where should I start? Came from organized background. Fast forward now. Right.
Can you give him the mic?
And yeah, I do a lot of activist work in the community. That's what
Okay. Got my brother right here, brother. Give us a little bit about you.
My name is Contrail Henderson, here by way of Benton in Little Rock, Arkansas. I do a lot of criminal justice reform work and ministry in the area. I also promote technology as a trade, and tying it all together. So that's some of the things I'm working on.
Brother, tell us a little bit about yourself. Introduce yourself, my brother. Let me know where you're from.
Well, my name is Dobo Loco. And I'm from Little Rock, Arkansas. I'm an artist and also an entrepreneur. What I can say, I'm building a company dealing with, NFTs, multiple things dealing with technology, social media marketing. What else can I say? I'm also a leading artist from my city. I'm doing big things in my city, you know what I'm saying, as an artist, so yeah.
Already. There y'all heard it. My brother from Little Rock, Memphis, and Benton, Arkansas. Now we finna go jump off into a little something. We wanna go ahead and give us a little bit update on what's going on in Memphis, Tennessee. Since we here, us in your city, so just give us a little, a little dab on a little something.
Memphis.
You know what I'm saying? We do got Memphis. I did a lot of work with you before, so I've been here millions of times. So this is our meet and greet on our own time. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
So give us a little bit of something, just a little bit of something going on in Memphis.
Right now, the streets is most definitely hot. Of course, everybody know we have the dog situation.
Right.
We got the rap beef going on.
Rest in peace, though.
We just last night had a murder at the McDonald's. Guy named. It was another gang member. Anyway, there's a lot of rap beef going on right now. The streets just hot right now. It's just
Right.
really hot. And I just say crime is high right now. It ain't safe to go outside. I know that. It's best to be in the house at midnight. But right now, I'm just working on a lot of projects with it myself. And working on help starting a ministry. Working on helping give an event to give back to the community. We're gonna do free haircuts June the 26th. The event's gonna run from 10 to 3. Yeah.
Okay.
And everything else.
Already. We're gonna come back to you though a little bit later on so we can get out a little deeper into some of the projects you have going on. Coming down through your way through Benton and Little Rock, what's going on down through the neck of the woods?
So in the Benton and Little Rock area, it's a lot of situations going on where a lot of people are going in and out of the, penal system or whatever. So that's what inspired me to go into the criminal justice reform avenue, because there's so much work for reentry to be done. So I partner with quite a few organizations in that area. Some are nationally known. One is Prison Fellowship and the other one is Dream Court Justice. And we also did a merger with Dream Quartet. So that's how we tie the ins and outs together on the legal side and the technology side. So we just working it, communicating with some of the stations in that area to try to get people streamlined in on re-entry sources and just connecting the dots.
Okay, go ahead, man.
I have a question. So, Benton, I don't think I did a lot of traveling through Benton. Is it majority black, white, Hispanic?
It's majority white, actually. And the interesting part of it is it's about 80% Caucasian and 20% or 20, give or take 20% between Hispanics and blacks. But a lot of times they cross in between Pulaski and Saline County. So in Saline County, they have a detention center, and that's where they house a lot of people that are going in to the ADC units, or some of them spend their time there. So between those county lines, it's a lot of traffic going between Garland County, which is Hot Springs. I do a lot of work there as well. And from there to Pulaski County, it's a lot of work to be done on that end. So it's kind of a hub and a central point between both directions.
Right.
Depot Loco, what's going on in the community back there in the Rock? I already know it's jumping.
Let me say this, man. It's crazy where we at because in Little Rock, it's so much hate and so much animosity in between one another. So much history. So the music scene heavy, but we doing what we can. And like I said, I'm doing a lot. I just hit 1 million views in January on my video I released. You know what I'm saying? With a fellow artist. You know what I'm saying? He international. You know what I'm saying? And, it just helped me go forward, and which got me a tour in August, you know what I'm saying?
That's
so
great.
It's gonna be big for my career, you know what I'm saying? Also, I've been getting reached out from, you know what I'm saying, labels and other stuff, but right now, it's me focusing on making sure I got a strong foundation, you know what I'm saying? Because taking off, if you go in the wrong hole, man, it's gonna be hard to get out there, you know what I'm saying? So I'm taking my time and also thinking about the future, because I want to put other artists on, other people, from where I'm at, because it's hard. Right now, we just building, man, you know what I'm saying? Everybody around there got their own little vision, and, you know, we pushing to show the world. So, that's what we on in Little Rock.
That's what's up. That's exactly what's up. But I want to see how can we connect this table into bringing about a better solution and delivering a greater message to be able to reach out to some of those in the community, and also breaking up into a little political area too as well, so we can be able to get an understanding about that, especially the IT situation. I know this Brotherhood be doing national computers as well, you know, so we want to get off into that as well, basically, especially with both of y'all build that as well. So we want to get off into that big rub shoulders on that, and also, like I was saying earlier, you know, I know you do a lot of work too in the field and in the political world as well, and organizing in the community too, so, and doing ministry. So I'm pretty sure all of us on the table with ministry though, we want to ministry though, like, I'm pretty sure that aware of that. But we want to be able to see if we can bring them. Go ahead, man.
So you talking about bringing all y'all together to do to connect Little Rock, Memphis. Give me the vision.
Well, first of all, this is really St. Louis to Memphis to Arkansas to Little Rock. But an individual from St. Louis could not make it, so we had to continue to go on. But the whole reason is that we need a wave like that to go through, you know, because if you look at it, St. Louis is no different. Dealing in politics, dealing with anything. I don't want to use the word racism because that is an independent word about the person, so we don't want to use that because that keep you mentally trapped. So you cannot see your way out of that, so we're not going to use that, but I'm just saying we need to be able to make that happen. I mean, I'm working like I'm working where I'm at. If they working the way they're working. Everywhere from St. Louis to Little Rock, every community is down.
Right. So what's the vision? What is the plan? What's the plan?
Well, the plan would not be discussed on television. What the plan is, what we are doing right now is building the communication together.
Okay.
Okay, what I'm trying to show you, ma'am, since you asked that question, if we having the same issues in every community around the world, how come we cannot come together and communicate and bring out a better solution? Because see, the issues I'm having, he faced it. He didn't see it. He didn't see it. He didn't live it. And absolutely you as well. But the whole point is, we need leaders in every state to be able to communicate with one another. Every state, every community. We're not worried about the pastors in the church. We're not saying anything about the pastor in the church. I know his job is to stay in the church. Now, my job is to mobilize So I had to be on ground. So that's the vision, but I'm not finna sit here and, this is one thing I want to get an understanding about. We have been in the darkness for so long because we want to go tell the individual about this. And then they put you in situations, and then tell you to wait, it takes time. But now we stay on our own path and move accordingly. Because I don't need the next individual yes or no, good or bad. I don't live up under them laws and jurisdictions, so we have to have this type of leadership. How many individuals you know in the community just having meetings like that and ready to mobilize state to state on their own now, not under the umbrella of funding, but creating their own funds and mobilizing themselves. You know, because everybody looking for a direction. But if you believe in something greater than you and I, it's going to give you the directions. We're here because we're following the direction, not because of someone gave us a vision. The vision is sent to you, given. So now we're here. But anybody want to add on to that? We'll go ahead and get into the shows.
I would like to add on to that. And I like the point that you said, funding. Because people think funding is everything.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Back in a couple of years ago, I can't state the date, but it was enough. The crime rate was high here in Memphis, and I never forget it. We started off at the Civil Rights Museum, and we had all the gang members met us at the Civil Rights Museum. It was supposed to be, it was Black Lives Matter. Frank Gotti put the guns down, fight like a man, organized that, and it was just, we was tired of the killings. Memphis had reached its highest record-breaking number during the summer with the youth dying, and also with adults. Babies was getting shot. It was sad. It was sad to even come outside. But we all just decided, man, enough was enough. And we reached out to different gang organizations. Frank Gotti actually put it together. And we met at the Civil Rights Museum. And I'm a true believer in God. God showed up today. And when I say it started out with 50 of us, and we marched from the Civil Rights Museum 2 blocks over to the FedEx Forum. When we got to the FedEx Forum, we was joined by 901. That was the same around time we had the movement going on, Take 'em Down 901. And we was moving these Confederate statues out of our public parks. And all that was going on, we was marching. I was marching in house shoes back then, flip-flops and house shoes. But and I had a stick. I was the guy known with the stick. The police didn't like me because I had a stick. But that stick took me back to 1968. When those guys fought and they was beating with sticks and things of that nature. But to make a long story short, we was met at the FedEx Forum with about another 100 people. So at that point we had like 200 people. At that time we was going through another police director. It was like a lot going on. And crime was just enough, and we was like calling for enough is enough with the city. So we was just asking people to come together to be leaders. And so we met at this FedEx Forum, and it's just like a beehive. It began to grow, And before me, Keedron and Frank Gotti, and a couple of other activists in the city knew what we got ourselves into, we had over 600 people out there. So at that point, I stood up on top of this, I never forget it, I stood up on top of this podium, and I had the bullhorn. The police director showed up, who he retired now. He wanted to say a couple of words because he knew that we was about to do something big, drastic in the city to change the way things was going on. So he said a couple of words, and the community was in disagreement with what he said. So people started booing him. He didn't take any questions. He basically showed up to say what he had to say, and he left. So people was upset. People were still angry. People began to push one another. They started to take their frustrations out on the next brother and sister that was next to them. So I grabbed Keisha and grabbed Frank. I'm like, man, we all just stayed there like, what we gonna do? And I said, just take on walking. He said, take on walking. These people are hungry to change. They're hungry to do something. They're gonna follow you. I said, take on walking. Go a bill. Like, take off walking. We took off walking and history was made then. We marched from FedEx Forum. They wanted to take 201 Pop. It ain't a secret because it's out there. I'm like, man, we can't take the jail. The prisoners are locked up. What the hell, we gonna stand in 201 Pop? I said, look. I said, Chuck, just stop. Because we had it kind of set up to where, like, when we first started Fight for 15, we used to do marches. We had a leader in the front. We had everybody else watching the line for us. So I kind of set it up like that. You know, Frank Gotti had the bullhorn, Keisha's right there. We had some more activists, good leaders in the community that was up front with me and was taking my direction. So some of us was talking too loud and the police was listening. I'm like, the police is listening, so at this point, quit talking. When we stop the crowd, we come together for a huddle and then we discuss. So we got to 201. They wanted to take 201, but long story short, I stopped the march. I said, man, just stop and look behind us. When I say I look behind us, we had over 10,000 people literally behind us. I'm talking about literally behind us. We didn't even know what to do with these people. The police didn't even know what to do. We didn't even know it was going to grow, but we knew that people was upset and people were looking for the right leadership to head in the right direction.
That's right.
And so they wanted to take over 201. I'm like, man, we can't take over 201. And the police had started to, you know, they used their tactic gear. They pulled out they mace, they gas, they put on all this money. And at this point, we all fired up. Nobody's scared. We stood at 201 for like 5 minutes. And the crowd began to catch up. And it just got so packed, it looked like an ant pile. And I never forget, it was a Cadillac SUV right there. I jumped on top of the truck. I didn't even know what truck it was. And I just stood there and I said, look at all these people. They is upset. They want to change in the city. What are we gonna do? So we came together. I said, keep walking. So by that time, the police, the sheriff department, every man and women they could get a hold to that they had to come out. They had to come out there. And so they was telling us, don't go to 240. So it was like 240 merge right there. And they knew we had a plan to do something major. And it was this guy named Devontae Hill, who's out there with us. But that's another story. But to make a long story short, they knew we had a plan to do something. And the police had started to kind of gang in on us. And what we did record was, and what we had was that their boss, which was the director, said, don't bother those guys. So if they touched us, there was a lawsuit. The city was going to get sued for so many millions, and they knew they was going to lose because we had it on video. So he said, don't touch us. So they got us a leeway. So we marched from 201 past Westies. They kind of quartered us in. And then we went from Westies up this little side street. And where Arkansas and Tennessee connects is right there at the bridge.
There you go.
So it was another guy at the community. He was just like so amped up. He was like, "What we gonna do? Everybody follow you, big dog. What we gonna do?" I said, "Man, look, we can't say it out loud, but the plan is shut this commerce down. Maybe they'll listen then. Maybe we'll get some.
Shut the bridge down.
We'll get some big people to the
Yeah.
to listen to us." So we got right there by the convention center before they just remodeled it. It was real open right there. And we had all the tactical gear. They came raining in. They blocked this one section. So we went down and got up under the bridge, and it was so loud. I'll never forget, it was so loud. And everybody kept saying, "What we gonna do?" And then I just stopped. Cause at that point, I really didn't know. I was like, man, we gathered up. I'm talking about it grew so fast. And Keedron and I, and all of us were just standing there talking. And then I never forget that chant for St. Louis. I got my hand above my head. Please don't shoot me dead.
Yeah.
I just dropped to my knees. And everybody literally dropped to their knees. So they kind of threw the police off, but it was these two officers. They were sitting right here, just blocking the traffic to come off the bridge. They was blocking it. But there were two of them. I'll never forget it. It's two of them. And there was a guy that came in, I can't think of his name right now. He was like, "I told you we you know, because we had some gang members out there, and they was ready for a change too. We did blase. Hey, we gotta take the bridge. I said, no way. We can't put people life in jeopardy like that. There's two officers right there. I stood right there for a minute, and I just looked up. And it's like they just ran up the ramp. Before I even made it up there to on the bridge, and I seen people on top of 18-wheelers. I still got the pictures and the videos on my phone, man. It was history. I seen people on top of semi-trucks. Shirts tied around their head, waving shirts. And we stood on that bridge. We held that bridge up for 4 hours. Before we finally gave in and broke and came down. And but here's the killing part. We was up there protesting. And then an hour or so, there come another 20,000, 30,000 people. We don't even know where they came from coming up the opposite ramp on the bridge. But those school kids, those moms and dads, there was people in the community that was ready for a change. Mm-hmm. Like I said, crime was high. Babies was getting ready. And at that time, I didn't have a child, but it was just so heavy in the community, and that just goes back to what Jay was saying. People was looking for the right direction, and we wasn't looking from the oppressor.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for that story. I remember that it actually made the news. So.
Yeah, I remember that too as well. I think we talked about that. And also, the other hat that came around. Right. I had sent me a warning on that. He said, "Say, Jay, don't you go to Memphis, man." Because I was on my way to Memphis. We were gonna go. You know what I'm saying? My man called and told me. He said, "Man, folks gonna knock you up." He said, "The niggas out there going crazy." I said, "What?" But we want to get off into this IT though. Break some of that down to give us a little bit on that.
Man, it's interesting the points you guys brought up, because it ties into technology. You know, I always tell people in its simplest form, technology is knowledge and it's tools. So when we ask the question like, what are the solutions? What's the vision? Well, imagine, you know, when you're looking at a computer screen, unless the codes and everything is aligned in order, you're not going to see that picture on that screen clearly. But when that resolution comes, it lines everything out. So the beautiful thing about when we look at the systems that we live in, there's systems within systems. And those systems can be created based off the moves that we make and the alignment we bring amongst ourselves. So when Brother Jay was talking about connecting the leaders from state to state, the key word was connection. You know, I always tell people there's power in networking. You never know who you may be talking to. You never know who you may be in the room with. And whatever gifts, if I got 9 gifts and you got 11, that's 20 gifts that we can share with the rest of the world. So the thing with IT is it's more ministry in it than what people realize, because it connects in ways that most people can't connect. You think about what the whole world has experienced with the pandemic. So many people had unlimited resources and unlimited access they had never had before just because they had to stay home and had to utilize technology. So when we look at technology as a trade and a tool, we see how many doors it opens, not only financially and economically, but also socially and from the ministry standpoint. So it's more than just fixing a phone or fixing a computer. It's also showing people how it's actually a tool that we can use. You know, we don't want to get in the habit of letting technology control us, but when we gain control over technology and use it for good, it's unlimited access that we can have to connect the dots with people and build the activism and even more. So,
I agree. I most definitely agree. Anybody want to add anything to that? You know, I know you mess with it too.
I mean, everything he said, he pretty much laid it out, but what I can say is, with the social media side of things, it's a good and a bad side with tech. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, we can't let it control us, but when we gain access of controlling it completely, we'll be able to do stuff we couldn't imagine with tech. Like, technology is the way to go, but like, some people don't understand how important it is, so that's slowing down the procedure or the moves that need to make it even better than it is. Because if you don't know it, you're afraid of it. And a lot of people are afraid of technology just because they set in their ways. You know what I'm saying? So, more we introduce new ways and make it more easy or accessible for people to get to, more I feel like technology will show us, like you said, a better way of life. As far as health, information, anything, even so, like I said, social, being social with each other, because even in the pandemic, you learn that you can be connected with your people far away, much as you was before the pandemic. You can get stuff that you usually would have to go out to get, you can get it by ordering online, dealing with people that you normally wouldn't trust with certain things and items. Like, I didn't at first, I wouldn't trust nobody to go shopping for me, but with the pandemic, I learned that they can do it. They can grocery shop, bring the groceries I want. You know what I'm saying? That's through technology itself. So,
Hold on. You got one? You got a question you
I
want
have
to
a
ask
question
this
for
lady?
you. Yeah. But I like the St. Louis hat, by the way.
Yeah, you
So
can
do
stop
you-
this chopping for a second.
No, I actually got a question.
I
It just popped in my head from his conversation. Do you think a new business can make it without social media?
I'm gonna tell you right now, with the world we live in, no business on this planet can thrive without social media in some form or fashion.
I agree.
I mean, at the end of the day, even if it's from using the cube system for taking your orders, you know what I'm saying, for like your cash in and cash out, everything is basically through online services nowadays. So, and plus a lot of people go online and search what they want, you know. Right. So if you ain't on there, you're getting overlooked, you're not getting seen. It's a lot of different things you miss not using technology as far as a business. So yeah, your first thing with a business right now is to get a website. That's the first thing you should have when you have a business, a website, because people search, they use Google for their everyday, what they want to eat, what they want to wear, what they want to smell, what they want to look like, all that they use Google. So if you ain't on Google, your business ain't popping, you know what I'm saying? So that's it.
Thank you for
I most
that.
definitely agree. I agree with
You agree? Everybody agree with that?
I like to mention something that kind of challenges that but agrees with it at the same time. It's a balance. So when you look at systems, going back to the same point, we have situations where there's so much that can be done within the system in terms of laws, but then there's much more that can be done when the intricate parts like us work in tune with it. So when you think about it, from experience, I've actually did just as much business door knocking and actually stepping out and touching people face to face than I did with the social media. Now, nothing against social media, but if it's all tools, hey, a tool bag don't just have one tool in it.
That's right.
We want to work all the tools. You see what I'm saying? So technology is a gift and a curse, but it can be a gift in more ways than one, because you can bridge that gap by having those websites, networking on social media. But we still got to have that interaction, because when you think about the pandemic, what I noticed is that a lot of people were just as happy to see you in person because they couldn't see people in person.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes both ways, but like I said, either way it's still a tool, and that's a way of growing in the understanding of how to mobilize and utilize it to your advantage. So
That's an organizer skill.
Well, like, you correct, but like, she said nowadays, like, growing with society nowadays, like, word of mouth, that's an automatic with your business, you feel me? Like, the ground basis of it is have a card, go around, network, you know what I'm saying, with your business, but like, doing that without technology, you cannot get further off in, like, nowadays. Like, I feel like even if you do 100% winning off just the groundwork, it's like, you can't go further. Like, if you want to reach out, you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
it's always like that.
it's that extra, but what you completely right. You can't have a business without having that ground, you know what I'm saying, that foundation, being able to have, you know, your usuals, especially with something like, you know what I'm saying. But now you gotta have a social media presence, like, got to. It's like, it didn't used to be like that, but now you cannot have a business without social media, and I hate it's like that. But
After her question,
I'm sorry.
After sister.
Well, not necessarily. You don't have to have social media. My dad has been in business 20 years. Never used social media.
no, you correct
Now,
to
they
have
sell
one.
billboards, advertisement door to door. You know, like those doorknob stickers. Mailbox services. Not technically always social media. Because what if social media goes with? Then what?
This way you gotta have both.
I mean, that's I'm agreeing with you, but it's like now at this moment, like, for you going further. Now, like I said, if you just on your usual basis, like a home name, like you know, you got your usuals, like you a neighborhood or community business, you know what I'm saying? You don't need social media because you there, you know what I'm saying? But like, I mean, to stretch out majorly, you cannot. Locally, you straight, you
Your
okay.
biggest businesses started before social media. Nike, Jordan.
I know that was then. We talking about now. We talking about like in 2022. Back then, of course, you could do it, but right now, no.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so here's my thing with social media, because I'm in the middle. I'm a 70s baby, so I feel like, and I'm a business owner as well, and I feel like, yeah, we can go door to door with people in our neighborhood, but those people are
Advertising, say if you're advertising your business and you're taking a picture, like I sold food, I advertise food trays, my food, like I could do a rib tip. If that's something that the people really want, and my usuals, I can open up at 1 and 2 o'clock, I'm sold out.
Yeah.
I done made $3,000 just selling food, but I might have usuals and I might have new people. I can sell fish on Friday as a service, and I can advertise on social media. I might have usuals and I might have new ones, but it's a positive and plus with it because you might get that one person that's never satisfied, and the hitter go, oh, such and such, you know, he fixed my plate like he fixed it last week, or his service, or it just didn't taste right, it was missing something. And then you notice the week after next, sales went down by 10% because of that one bad advertising. So the reason I use social media in a big way now today, I go and fix it. That same person that complained to me, I'm gonna tag you in a post and let you know your next 4 meals is free, and then we'll go from there. But in return, I need a public apology, and I need you to tell them about your experience and how it was. Because sometimes
That's
people will,
important, though.
sometimes people will say, oh, I went to shop with this business, or I went over there and I checked out her lashes or something like this or something like that, and it wasn't like this. But I always tell people, as black business owners that's trying to strive and grow, why bash us on social media? If you got a problem, you know my number. If you one of my regulars, you know where I'm at. Let's chop it up. Let's talk about it and see where we grow. Cause I'm always supporting black business owners. And then we got the ones that's always in the community or always saying, well, I'm giving my money to the white man. Woo, woo, woo. But the black people ain't fair. But I'm here to say the black people are fair.
Okay.
It's just our own kind. They always trying to get shortcuts, and they always want to deal in the discount. If you're gonna go to the Gucci store, no offense, cause you got on Gucci shades, you gonna pay $3,000 for some Gucci shoes. If I sell my Simon plates at $18 a pop,
Pay me my $18.
get my $18. You gonna go to Red Lobster and pay $18? Because I'm a business that's growing out of my kitchen.
Right.
You feel like I need to sell my plates for $10. You ain't gonna go to the grocery store and buy this slab of salmon that's $30 for $10. So that's where I'm at with it.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
And I want to add on to that.
Go ahead.
After I wanted to add on to that. See, anything I go do, especially when I'm shopping online, I'm going to look for the reviews. I'm not doing nothing without looking at reviews. And if I see over 2 reviews, oh, I ain't messing with it. It's not, because it's got bad reviews. So that do mean a lot
I
for
know
business.
somebody like that.
And that's where the social media will get unfair.
Right, social media will get unfair.
Well, cut it out like David's burger. They don't let you get bad reviews. They don't.
Right.
Like, I tried to get them a bad review, and they kicked it right out the door.
Yeah, it's algorithms that will boot all
They
bad.
will not
What?
let you do it. So,
Because it will drive sales down.
It will.
It will.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I always tell, if I'm working in the kitchen with my grandma or my sister, or I might be working in the kitchen with my cousin, we'll dress a plate, and I tell them, people shop nowadays with their eyes. They don't shop with
They
their
shop
nose. They
with
don't
the
shop with
look.
their mouth.
Correct.
Shop with their eyes. If it look good, presentation as well, they comment.
Right. Go ahead, my brother.
All right, so to add on to like pretty much every statement that was made, I think review management is something that we say we all agree they can make or break a business. But from the connection side of it, one of the things I notice is that a lot of times as black business owners, we all have that experience where the people local a lot of times will not support. So I think, like the brother said here, that's where your social media presence comes in handy, especially with our people, because unbeknownst to us, there's more of our people that want to support black businesses, but they don't have an awareness of where they are.
Right.
So, with that being said, like I'll use this as an example. When I seen the movie Black Panther, it was one of the biggest movies when it came out. When I watched that movie, the thing that I saw that caught my attention was the connection of the diaspora and the United States. So I looked at that and I said, you know what? Kind of like what Brother Jay said. Okay, yeah, we in Little Rock, we in Benton, but I got somebody that look just like me in St. Louis. I ain't never met them though. I got somebody that thinks like me in Memphis, but I ain't never met them though.
Right.
So that connection and the power networking goes further when you think outside the box. The box being your state, the box being your block, your neighborhood,
That's right.
where you from. We all over the world. We at the 4 corners of the earth. So why should I think locally? I should think globally, especially when it's a common cause and a mission.
We learned something today.
And
Yeah.
that brings me back to when we went to Vegas.
Right.
Right. And I noticed in Vegas is a city that never sleeps. It's a moneymaker.
Right.
But what I did notice, in Memphis, we got a beauty supply store and Walgreens on every corner. In Vegas, they don't. In Vegas, they got restaurants, but they don't have soul food restaurants.
Right.
So imagine taking that globally playing to Vegas
True.
and what you can do in 6 months.
Actually, we was talking about that when we was
In Vegas. So
Yeah, we all went to Vegas.
as
We was talking
business
about
owners, what you were saying, like thinking globally and trying to connect,
that. Right.
it could be somebody there trying to do those same things, but they don't know.
Exactly.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So
And it's gonna be hard, man.
It's hard. I'm saying though, like every black person don't want to help another black person. Like, and that alone gonna be hard for
Right.
us as
Why
a people
is
to
that?
connect. Like,
Can I?
Let
Can
me
I,
say something
can I
real
speak?
quick.
Okay.
Let me say something. I think Mike done went out.
That's okay. We can.
I look,
we can
I
still
cranked
hear-
up the juice. Yeah, say
Yeah,
what you got
but
to say.
let me say something though. Let them. First of all, we have to realize too one thing that's very important. We are all not from the same tribe.
True. It's true.
We all look like it. We're not from the same tribe. So that's when it get complicated. Cause you got to narrow everything down.
So we got a tribe of haters and a tribe of
Well,
like, what
but
do you
see,
mean?
but see, if you, but see, that's what council see being on. Cause you sitting up worrying about haters. Anybody successful or even have their own vision, they can't even see haters. Every day that you wake up and think about somebody hating on you, you just decrease anything about you.
That's a whole nother show.
No, because see, that's because see a lot of people, that's how they
That's what it is. That's what it is.
no, because see, look,
I'm gonna call a duck a
understand.
duck. If it's
Right.
hating, it's hating.
Right, but see, how could you acknowledge anything?
You gotta acknowledge it.
No, you don't acknowledge
Yeah, you
hate.
have to.
You can't see hate.
But you gotta acknowledge. You gotta know it's there. You don't have to act on it. You can control your actions, but you have to acknowledge it.
Can I?
Okay.
Okay. So back down to what my brother said with the hat on. As a black race, let me say it like this.
Yeah.
It's not far as like I'm gonna say okay, hate has a part to do, or people will be jealous and envy because we all can have $1 million business.
Right.
We know where to go get the funding.
Right.
We got $1 million business plan. We're working on that.
Hello.
But
Facts.
what I'm saying is, and where I'm trying to go is, if I had the resources to share with Jay had the resources to share with him, and he had the resources to share with, and we passed the trend, and if we're not afraid, see, this is the key.
Yeah.
People are
They scared.
afraid that if I help you, you're going to get 20 steps ahead of me. But
Right.
in life,
Right.
we always got to be ahead anyway. But if you here to help, why not help? Why am I so afraid to help you get to where you need to be? If I'm not where I need to be at in life, it's because of me. I got the tools and the resources to help you, and I'm not afraid if you come right past me.
Right.
I would feel more better you coming past me knowing where you came from
Right.
than me trying to say, well, just like I had a couple of brothers, I helped them get their CDLs every day on the phone with them, studying with them,
Right.
talking to them,
People charge a lot of
walking
money
with
for
them.
that.
People charging $6,000-$7,000 to help people get their CDLs. I didn't charge now one of the brothers. I can call them on my phone right now. Even when I had my own truck, I let them do the pre-trip. I drove, bag, everything free. You go to school, they charge $6, $7, $8, $9, $10, $11,000 top to train you. Why I'ma charge you and be mad at you and give you the less resources and the less what I can help you with because I'm afraid, oh man, he gonna get in the truck and can't get his own woo. When I got the same opportunity in the same 24 hours to make this same $200,000 a year.
Right.
What?
You can go ahead. I can go after you.
So to piggyback off of that, what the brother said and what brother Jay said, goes back to the verse where it says, perfect love casts out fear. Well, we know what the opposite of love is hate. So to what brother Jay said, if I'm meditating on hate, I'm gonna attract it. I'm gonna partake in it. So doing your part is critical, but the question is, what part are you playing? You know, one thing about our people that I've noticed over the years is that we specialize in understanding hate. When do we start specializing in understanding love?
It's not there enough. Hate is all around us. That's what we know, our own family. It's mothers that hate on daughters nowadays. You know?
Exactly. That's
It
true.
gets deep.
That's true. So
It gets very deep on my end. On my end, in certain situations I can speak about and I can't speak about where money plays a part.
Right.
And people will take you.
But you know why though? Go ahead,
No,
sister.
were
No,
you
we-
finished?
okay.
What you
Well,
gonna say?
no, I can add to that, but I'm
What you
gonna let's just.
I was just gonna say, it's a mindset. When you come into any type of business, I think it's important to have a positive mindset first off.
Mm-hmm.
Second off, you're gonna expect haters. You should.
Yeah.
Right.
Look forward to them.
Right.
They should, propel you. If your haters are not propelling you, then something is wrong. You gotta
Right.
reset your mind, change your mindset. Because if you don't have no haters, you ain't doing nothing.
Right.
You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So you should have people looking at you a certain type of way. You know what I'm saying? It should propel you forward. Also, yes, black people, we do have a thing about not supporting each other, but we also have a lot of black people that will support. We just gotta get the word out past these haters. They
Right.
won't support.
Get through them.
Yeah, you get past them and you're gonna be
One hater
okay.
ain't gonna stop the show.
That's right, that's right. You know
That's
what I'm
right.
saying? Just keep it pushing. The longer and the harder you work, believe me, people gonna see you, and you're gonna have a lot of people that's gonna follow you and that's gonna support you, regardless and in spite of all those haters and all those people that's looking down
Because
on you.
that one hater that was hating is gonna come back and follow the rest of
That
the
part.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be the last straggler.
That's
You only the one.
that's a perfect example because like look at it this way. If you had 5, let's say we got haters that we acknowledge that we know they're haters. If you got 5 haters that wouldn't buy your product for $50, well, that's $250 off the table, right? But what if you had one supporter that came and spent $25,000? Who cares about the $250 from the haters?
That's a
That's
small.
right. You
That's a
sure
small
right.
fish.
See what I'm saying?
That's a
You
small
sure
fry.
right.
That's right.
And,
I get it now. I think I learned something else.
Before we get ready to wrap it up, we're gonna be ready to wrap this up, and it was a great.
That's it.
We usually do 30 minutes. I didn't use 2 cameras.
Okay.
But we
But,
just close out just right now, but we getting ready to, but we gotta go, put some on our stomach. Now black folks got to eat now. That's mandatory. We got to put some on our stomach, and then we discuss the revolution.
So
That's
we
gonna
should
be
definitely
televised.
meet again.
Oh, we most definitely gonna be
We can
again.
start with this crowd, and I specialize in building plans, so we can definitely I can build a blueprint and see
We'll
how
discuss
everybody
all
like
that
it.
after the fact. We don't need a blueprint. We don't need you to build anything now. All I need you to do is just stay
Well,
peaceful,
excuse me.
stay blessed, stay righteous. Don't worry about haters. You know how I greet haters? With wisdom, knowledge, and understanding.
There you go.
That's how I greet a hater. I know individual dislike Lil J, hate so much on Lil J, I still like his post. I see him and shake his hand. I talk to the brother with much love.
It's like for a life around here.
But see, guess what though? They say if you tried to take a life, while you focus on taking a life, you had already lost your life. You
I
have no
said
direction.
like for a life.
I don't worry about nothing like that. You ain't never got like nothing I do. It don't cost me at all.
Yeah.
Not
Because
gonna
at the end
worry
of the
about
day, that
anything
money,
like that.
we still making money.
But
Business
people on
still
slack. Cause see, look here, I'm gonna do just like I said. I don't deal with social media like that. But I do know this here. This person here don't like. No problem. I can get on ground and get 4 people to like. Now if 4 on the ground don't like, no problem. Get you to go ahead and put that on social media and get 5 people to like. I'm gonna get my life regardless. I ain't gonna live off your life.
Yeah,
But,
man, that cloud of disease, man. So you good out the way. Stay that way.
Yeah.
That cloud of disease, man. Like people do the retarded shit.
Man, look, I'm pretty sure all of us, you know what I'm saying, probably that talk to me anyway. You know what I'm saying? You seen Lil J in all kind of situations. I can get mad and do everything up. If something going on with you, it can be a bomb blow. I'm gonna be just as cool, but look here, brother, we have to do this and that. We gotta look at it this way. But before we wrap it up,
I want to
I put you at how you at a fire department. You need another job. I don't think if you want to camera, you might go get the fire
It's all
department.
come together.
Go ahead, my brother.
I wanted to kind of touch bases on those 2 shootings. one in Texas.
Yeah,
one in,
we
New
definitely
York.
want to touch bases on that.
Man, those kids, those babies gonna be traumatized for generations to
Yes.
come.
Yes.
That just brings back the hate part that we was talking about. You know, when hate crime strikes like that, it always comes in threes. I don't know if people pay attention to it.
Yeah.
It always comes in threes.
Yeah.
First we had the grocery store, then we had the Texas one, and I'm expecting another one. But I really want to know when this goes back to what he's talking about, criminal justice reform. These, no offense, they get these white brothers and sisters slap on the wrist. When a black brother go do it, 25, 30, he might get 30 life sentence.
Bloody, dirty, beat up.
He might get 30 life sentence.
Yeah.
And it's just sad and it sickens me that our government body, I'm not gonna say system, I'm gonna say body, can't control it, won't control it. They can, but they won't. They passed these crazy laws. Tennessee has an open carry law for 18 years old and above now. So that's one way to put more guns on the streets and get rid of us black brothers and sisters, because they ain't doing nothing but killing of each other. If you say boo, they ready to blow you off. You know what I'm saying?
That's trickleology now.
Right. So
It's trickleology.
I just feel like as a whole, we need to do something about it. And now, don't get me wrong. I'm not against guns. I carry one every day. I most definitely do. I got 2, 3 of them, but that's for my protection because I know what's going on in society. I know that I can't go to Kroger and think I'm safe because a person will come to Kroger and shoot up Kroger. There was a guy, it happened here in Memphis, in one of the richest neighborhoods. They fired him at the sushi bar and came and shot the whole grocery store.
At the sushi bar?
They fired the Japanese guy. He came back and shot and killed 3 people in Kroger, and all of them was old enough to beat my grandma.
Well, they'll catch that. They do that all the time. Though.
They do it all the time, but what I'm saying is, he got slapped on the wrist.
Oh yeah, because he got a mental health problem. That's basically what they're gonna say.
But they didn't give Lorenzo wife, Cheryl right. She played crazy, but that's another story. I don't want to get into that because I don't know nobody talking to me. But she played crazy. That didn't work for her.
Oh, no,
But you got other people that has played crazy and they get out. Like when I first was hired, I'm gonna get a floor away because I can talk a lot. Because I want to do a lot.
Right.
It was a white guy, a supervisor. When I was driving for the company I just left from. When I first got hired, sat down. This man told me he had a mental issue. He said, I'm mentally messed up. And I'm thinking, do he know who he's talking to? You telling me all this, but you sitting here don't even know who you talking to.
Right.
In 3 weeks, I had him out of the house.
You gotta get rid of him. But I want to
You
say
can
this.
kill me and get away with
Right.
it, bro.
That's what I'm
Away from me,
saying.
bro.
I'm like, he's sitting here telling me he's mentally, something is not clicking up here.
I be dead, he be out of jail or something.
But I want to say this here though. Dealing with a lot of these shootings, mass shootings, man, especially at these schools and a lot of things. This is something we have to look at that's real serious. You know, since we was talking about hate, most of them folks that's shooting up these schools, hate is taught in their home.
Right.
And one thing about hate is like a volcano or something like a bomb, anything that'll erupt. Hate is builds, and once hate explodes, hates have no direction and no love. So today, when he went up in there, that heat that was in him exploded. And it might be your own parents. Some of them do their own parents. It might be whatever, the school or whatever, wherever it is. But hate is like a bomb. It's gonna explode. And most of the hate comes from in the home. You know, just simple things. And then you can't continue to use mental health all the time.
Right.
I'm gonna show you the reason why. Most people that's got mental problems don't know how to kill themselves. They know how to feed themselves. They're not gonna walk in front of no truck. They know most people with mental problems know more things about dangerous things that can happen to them than you do. You'll walk across the street on your phone and get hit by a car not paying attention. This person with a mental health problem, he know not to do that.
It's true.
He know not to do that.
Okay.
It's true.
So we have to evaluate these things before we just place them. We have to get out of that mental health stage because that is freeing them and locking you up. So we got to look at that. We
Go
got
back
to,
to that man that jumped off the bridge in Memphis.
right.
But he didn't die.
I thought they said he died. He didn't die.
That man survived.
Look,
He broke up.
A
He survived.
30-foot fall. Oh my
That man
God.
survived. He did not die.
because you know why he didn't die? The higher power
Power
left
said
him
it.
here
Yeah.
for him to tell the
So,
story.
there you go. That's
See,
what I
now
feel.
he in a position to change whatever was mentally wrong would have been corrected.
Yeah, he regretted that soon as
You know what
he
I'm
hit
saying?
the
Been
hell.
Right, I
corrected.
bet.
Yeah,
On the
he
way
telling
out.
him. He telling
Yeah.
him, man, I was regretting as soon as I jumped
But,
out there.
but when we talk about mental health, I'm gonna pass it, so I want you to hit some points on it. I want you to hit some points
You
on
on
it.
the
But
last word, right?
you know what I'm saying? Oh, hold on now. We driving a vehicle. Just a passenger. So corner around up, man. I'm the store. We'll drop you off and then you get your snack.
Oh boy. I'm just doing my job.
You're doing your job. You just be riding in the vehicle. Don't be messing with the radio in the car. You can change no station. We floating with hate. That's what we talking about. But like I was saying though, back to what I was saying though, you know, a lot of brothers, man, out here is killing each other. I want y'all to know this here. This is a cold tactic game that's being played. You know what they finna do? Like they said, 18 and older, they can buy a firearm. You're getting firearms in Little Rock. You're getting firearms in St. Louis. You're getting firearms in Memphis. You're getting firearms all over the world. But guess what they finna do though? They see if you pay attention to these people, they use the same tactics over and over and over again. So now that everybody killing each other, so that proves that we what? Out of control, no directions, don't know how to live. So they gonna set orders and set order in your life because you don't have no order, you don't have no laws, you don't go by nothing. So they gonna set order. Guess the first thing they gonna do? They gonna keep building until they get all the people in the church, all the older women. They gonna get all the older women first. Older black, we know why? Because she had passion. She done lost somebody, a husband or a grandbaby out here in these streets. If they say, man, we want to get rid of all these guns off the street, guess what? She gonna go get the rest of them. They gonna get the church. They gonna get the other men and women. They gonna get rid of them guns off the streets. Then we back in the same position. Cause see, people look like you and I won't own no firearm. They'll own all the firearms just like it was back then. That said law and restriction on how to carry a firearm and where you can carry one in and what kind of firearm. Say like you have a rifle, but they shooting an AK. Gotta think about that now. You in a house with a shotgun, these folks roll up on your porch with AKs.
100 rounds.
But you won't, I'm not saying put guns on the street. We gotta
Right.
get them guns off the street.
Right.
But people need to start thinking and paying attention. Because every time they move by strategy. You do not. You move as the which way the wind blows. That's the way you go. Go ahead, my brother.
Man.
Before we wrap it up.
Man, so many valid points that has been spoken on. And one thing I'd like to mention in regards to what he said, because it has to be said, ministry is one thing, church is another. Know the difference.
I agree.
I'll repeat it again. Ministry is one thing, church is another. Know the difference. Now, what is ministry? It's service. So what we're doing right now is service. It's ministry. And I say that to say this. The reason why you don't see much correction going on inside of those buildings is because they hadn't dealt with what was inside of them first. And they also hadn't dealt with what was going on outside of those walls either. So now, it's all about going within. So unless we know how to process trauma and we address it, we can't cure hatred. Not unless we get to the root of it. You gotta get to the root of it. So this is a call to action for all people in all parts. First of all, going back to the church and going back to ministry. There's missionaries and apostles and evangelists. They do most of their work on the outside of the building. So the people on the inside of that building gotta stop acting like it ain't ministers walking around those buildings. So every club you ever went to, most of them, the most secure ones, had bouncers. Think of us as on the outside as the layman as the bouncers. It still has to be work done on the outside. And that work on the outside and the inside of those walls is gonna be dictated by the work that was done inside of that person that's doing the work. So I say that to say this, Brother Jay hit the nail on the head, it starts at the home. See, a lot of people, they carry work home with them and then home is destroyed. But then if the home ain't in order, then they carry that to work.
I agree. It's vice versa.
It's vice versa. So it always starts with going within. And if I'm going within and my brother next to me is, we have no choice but to dialogue and understand, because hatred is a root from a lack of understanding. Our people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. So some people, what do? They fear what they don't understand. So if I fear what I don't understand, I'm bound to hate.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's true.
that,
It's
So,
true.
you know,
wanna bust something up before we get out of here?
All I'm gonna say is my boy just spits the lit, man. I ain't gonna come behind there with no one. I'm gonna say I'm Dobo Loco, man. And before we get out this, y'all can go stream all my new joints on social media, on all platforms. You know what I'm saying? Dobo Loco. That's DOBEO LOKO. You know what I'm saying? I'm jumping. I'm on all platforms. Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, anything you name. I'm on that joint. So go high level, man. We jumping. As far as a message, all I can say is stay safe and stay dangerous. You hear me?
I'm gonna put all y'all handles in the description. So anybody that's interested in what they have to say, all of their handles will be in the description.
Alrighty, so this has been a great show. Hey, this ain't the last show. This show just started getting on the road.
Hey, we just getting started. Huh?
And then plus also
It's more meat than everything.
doing them skits too. We're gonna
Oh,
discuss
we
all
gotta
that.
get
We're
you
gonna
on
discuss
the
all that
skits.
at the table, over the table. We're gonna discuss that, and we definitely gonna discuss that on you with the clips and everything. Is that cool? Cause next time we can do this here. We can do it ourselves. You know what I'm saying, Katie? You know what I'm saying?
Thank y'all.
Yes, man.
Say, man. I told you about my show.
You out of there.